Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to take a look at our bin that has European Nightcrawlers in it. Now, we've started this bin with coco coir and a lot of leftover remnants from one of my my urban worm bag, and we added those worms in, and it's been going for a little bit, but it's time to start really getting involved with adding food and maybe adding some cardboard as well. I do know that these worms do like a little bit of cardboard, and they don't seem to be consuming this coco coir nearly as fast as this cardboard, so I'm going to start adding some cardboard. We're going to add some food in. We're going to get them kind of motivated to move through the system again. So with that, let's go take a look and see how the system is doing, and let's get this started with a fairly large feeding this time. I think this is the first large one I'm adding to this system. I've added some small ones, but this is going to be a fairly large feeding comparatively. So with that, let's take a look and see how it's doing. All right, here's our system. As you can see over here, we've got our little tape to mark where we fed last time on this side, and our last update was on the 4th of March here. Today is, I'm going to put the date on here right now, March 28th. So 24 days between the system checks here. And if you can see here on the top, we started this on the January 20th of this year. So it's been about 2 months now that it's been going, or just over 2 months. So let me move this back here about right there. So hopefully you can see all right. And let's take a look and open this up. So first off, on the top, I'll flip this over. Not seeing much going on here. I'm just trying to see if I see any worms. I'm not seeing any on the top here. So no worms on the top, but a little bit of castings it looks like that have been forced in between. That's very normal on these systems. And let's take a look inside. Moisture content looks pretty good. A little dry on the edges, which is very normal. Let me just move this up just a little bit. There we go. So a little dry on these edges over here and up top, but that's okay. The side edges are staying nice and moist though. Let's go ahead and dig in this food zone. Let's just see how much food is in here. I do have a lot of food ready to go, but if there's a ton left in here, I might not do that. So we got, looks like a piece of an avocado shell. First worm right there, actually right on it. Here we go. That's a good sign. We're already finding a worm by the food. Oh, here's our first large worm instead of the smaller ones. They don't look very active though right now, which is sort of worrisome. But hopefully, as we get this going up and going a little bit more, they'll get a little bit more active. But here we go. Now we're starting to see some worms in here. So this is a good sign. They're just not quite as active. They might be a little bit chilly over here. Oh, hold on. I see a cocoon. There we go, right there. I think you can see that. There's a cocoon in this system. Let me just see if I can move it up. Right there, maybe. So first cocoon in this system that we found. That's a good sign. Oh, we've still got an apple in here that they are working on. It's still the skin right there. There's a bunch of worms right on top. You can see the seeds in there. Looks good though, but we can leave that in there. That's no problem. They'll work through that. The skin was probably a little tough on that one. A little smaller worms over here too. You can see the big worm. Whoops. And we've got the little worm right there next to it. It's a good sign when we see these little worms going on. Let's just see what else we can get out of this corner. Oh, this is another cocoon right here. That was not the one that we found before. So another cocoon. That's a good sign. It shows that there's space in here. They're starting to multiply. And I'm finding them easily, which is strange for me. I thought I just saw another one in here actually. All right, I guess we're going to miss that one. Yeah, I missed it. Oh, here's one right there. Actually, there's another one right there on my palm. So, right there. So we're already seeing 3 cocoons in just this little tiny section over here, which is good, especially with how bad I am at finding them. Up, and actually here's another one right there. Look at that. Oops, let me not dump all that on the floor. Look at that, another cocoon. So they are actually multiplying in here pretty quickly. I did not expect to find this many. I've already found, a few cocoons, which is surprising. Typically in my, when I'm looking, I don't really see them. I'm not very good at finding them. But they're pretty bright in this material here, which is part of the difference too. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cover that back up. We'll leave that apple in there. Let's just come to the center section now and see what we see over here. Got some more worms down in here, so they are working on the material even in the center. Another smaller worm. So good distribution of worms in here. And actually, is that another cocoon right there? Look at that. That's another one. That's a slightly different color. It looks like it's a little bit more mature, or it's already hatched. All right, I'm not sure what just happened here, but it looks like my camera shut off, so I've already dug over here on this side, which I think it captured, and I showed that the apple that was over here, but I do want to show you, I've been finding, as I go through, a ton of these cocoons. I've probably found, after the camera even shut off, I found like another 5 more in this center section here, and I've just been finding them consistently as I go through the system. Actually, here's another one right here. So you can just see, finding lots of cocoons in this system. The system is doing really, really well. As I said, I'm not sure what's happening with my camera, why it just cut out, but we're going to continue going through here. I'd already gone through the center section a little bit, so that's not a cocoon, it looks like. But I've been finding a lot of cocoons in here. This is a great start to this system, which I know is a different material than some of my other systems. I don't use coco coir quite that often, but we're going to be using it in this one, and we are going to add some cardboard just to make sure. I am still finding a lot of these banana tops. They do take a long time to break down, but we're finding worms all throughout the system. I haven't dug on this side yet, and there's still some worms over here. Looks like there might be some coffee grounds too. Now, the one thing I've noticed is that there's some of these yellow worms too. I'm not sure what that means for these. Actually, hold on. There's another cocoon right here. Look at this. There's another one. So I'm not sure what the yellow worms mean for European nightcrawlers. I might have to look that up. It probably means that there's something missing or something that's off slightly in the system, although a lot of them do look very healthy and fine. I don't know if it's also just a stress thing. They're kind of stressed out being in here. There's another cocoon. So these things are just doing really, really well in here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a ton of cocoons that I found in the system. What we're going to do now is we're going to add a fairly large feeding. We are going to add some water. There's no moisture sitting at the bottom, which is good. This coco coir is really good at absorbing it and kind of bringing it up to the surface. It's not too dry in here. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and scrape these sides off a little bit over here. Kind of empty out this section. And what we're going to do is we're going to add some cardboard in here. Even though I do like this material, I just want to make sure that they do have, I know they do tend to like the cardboard, and I want to make sure, I don't know how edible the coco coir is for them. So we're going to add some of that. This is dry cardboard. Yes, I know, it's dry. But that's alright, because we're going to add a big feeding in here on this side. And then we're going to add some water. So we're going to add some coffee grounds, which are some tea leaves, apple core, pear core, banana, strawberry. Make sure these guys are nice and safe over there in this section. You know, standard fare for my worms, as you know from what we tend to eat in our house. So we're going to add one more banana peel in here. So that's just going to kind of complement everything in here. We're going to cover this up with a little bit more paper. I do feel that there's been plenty of grit in here. I mean, I see lots of flakes all over. So I'm not too worried about the grit in this system, but we're going to go ahead and cover that up. And now we're going to add a little bit of moisture to this with our BTI mix, which is going to make sure we tap down on any of those fruit flies, or I should say fungus gnats. As I said, I'm not too worried about water in this system. This coco coir is really good at absorbing it. And there's no standing water in the bottom, no moisture issues whatsoever. So we're just going to add a little bit of moisture, just like that. And now we're going to go ahead and cover this back up, just like that with these worms. Get them nice dug in here. Make sure there's no food on the top. I'm sorry how much you guys might have missed. I don't know what's going on with my camera, why it cut out like that. It shouldn't have hit a heat mark or anything like that. Should have been just fine, but that's this system right here. And just remember, if you're looking to purchase some worms, there is Memes Worms on my description down below. And I'm going to go ahead and move this piece of tape from this side to show that we now fed over here. And actually, one of the other things I do want to do is add a little line down here. Again, though, that's Memes Worms. If you're looking to purchase some worms, highly recommend her as a source. But with that, that's going to be it for this system. So thank you for watching. Hopefully I won't know until I go to edit it how much was missed, but hopefully most of this was caught. And you get to see how the system looked, because it looks pretty good from a cocoon standpoint. The worms maybe a little bit on the yellow side, which I think means stress, but overall the worms and overall the cocoons in here was very impressive. I've never found that many cocoons. I probably found between a dozen to 12 to 20 cocoons in here with me, which I'm not very good at seeing them. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, and let me know if there's anything else you would like to see with the worms that I have. I'm always looking for suggestions of new topics to cover or new experiments to try. So thank you for watching.